The Indo-Pacific region is a region of rising tensions, territorial disputes, and a fierce battle for supremacy. China, a country seeking to become a global superpower, is aggressively expanding its influence across the region and beyond. With its military buildup, sprawling claims over the South China Sea, and an unwavering ambition to bring Taiwan under its control, China wants to rewrite the rules of the game and challenge any who dares to stand in its way. However, the United States, with its technological edge in naval innovation, is standing in its way, making the logistics of a potential conflict between the US and China a nightmare. The US has a technological edge in unmatched naval innovation that can project power across vast distances with unparalleled precision and lethality. At the heart of this innovative arsenal is the USS Lewis V. Pullman, an extraordinary vessel that could single-handedly decide the naval war between the US and China. The US had already had a presence in the Indo-Pacific, but World War II marked a pivotal shift in its strategic approach to the region. The US built an airstrip on Canton Island, now part of the island nation of Kiribati, some 1,900 miles south of Hawaii, as a key refueling and staging hub for trans-Pacific flights. However, after World War II, the US gradually shifted its focus away from the Pacific Islands, redirecting its attention to Europe and other global priorities during the Cold War. This lack of sustained attention created a vacuum that China has been eager to exploit, advancing its influence through investments, political maneuvering, and strategic partnerships. China's growing military presence in the Pacific Islands, including Kiribati and the Solomon Islands, is the #1 issue the US faces in the Indo-Pacific. Beijing is entering into security pacts with these nations, allowing it to deploy Chinese military personnel and police on their territories. If China's troops and police are present in a strategic location, the US will likely lose its access to it and all the critical infrastructure it houses. China is pursuing this goal through economic and infrastructure investments, trying to strengthen its foothold in the Indo-Pacific. A direct conflict between China and the US can't be ruled out due to the escalating tensions and strategic competition. In the very region where this conflict would take place, almost everything is working against the US, making the logistics of a potential conflict nothing short of a nightmare. The logistics of a successful conflict in the Pacific requires a network of highly connected military bases. For instance, during the Cold War, the US established a vast network of highway-connected military bases stretching from Italy to Germany, which served as the logistical backbone of its military operations in the northern European plains. However, the Pacific Ocean covers almost 1/3 of the Earth's total surface, making the bases too far apart from each other and from potential conflict hotspots. Out of the 400 military bases the US controls in the Pacific, the closest to major conflict areas are those located in countries like Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines. Japan alone houses 120 active bases, making it the country with the highest number of US bases in the world. About 70% of the US bases in Japan are in and around Okinawa, a strategically vital region due to its proximity to potential flashpoints like Taiwan and the Korean Peninsula. The second closest military bases to potential flashpoints in the Indo-Pacific are the bases on US islands like Hawaii and Guam. However, their distance from potential conflict areas is not the only problem. Once the US started recasting the posture of its military forces to address rising threats in the region, Guam was in a severely run-down state, with infrastructure, roads, water supply, electrical system, piers, and airfield runways in dire need of repair and modernization. The most advanced and well-equipped US military bases in the Pacific follow the designs of those on the US mainland, such as ones in California and Washington. These bases benefit from state-of-the-art infrastructure, extensive support systems, and direct access to advanced technology and logistics networks. However, their distance from the Indo-Pacific theater means they play a more indirect role in immediate regional operations. The so-called tyranny of distance has been labeled as one of the most significant challenges in US military strategy in the Pacific. The math is simple. The further the military force needs to be projected, the more complex and resource-intensive the operation becomes. China's influence reaches deep into the Pacific, and even some U.S. partners in South and Southeast Asia are avoiding outright alignment with the U.S. against China. Other vital elements of warfare logistics are also on China's side, including effective supply chains, numerous command and control centers, complex transportation networks, and regular upkeep and repair of military equipment. In conclusion, maintaining operational readiness in the Pacific requires balancing three critical factors: capability, proximity, and infrastructure. The U.S. has developed expeditionary sea bases, ESBs, to support a wide range of military operations, with an emphasis on logistics, while staying out of direct combat zones. These bases allow the U.S. to project power and sustain operations in contested areas without relying on vulnerable land bases or traditional supply chains. ESB vessels are primarily designed to support low-intensity missions, allowing the U.S. Navy to retask more high-value surface combatant warships and amphibious warfare ships to more demanding operational missions. However, their role is critical in sustaining long-term operations, supporting missions such as mine clearance, special operations, drone launches, refueling, and maintenance. The USS Lewis B. Puller is one of the game-changing vessels that supports these missions. It is the first purpose-built ESB vessel to be constructed for the U.S. Navy and the second ship named after Lieutenant General Lewis Chesty Puller. Puller is the most decorated Marine in American history, having been awarded 5 Navy Crosses and 1 Distinguished Service Cross during his 37 years of service. The USS Lewis B. Puller was first ordered in February 2012, delivered in June 2015, and commissioned in August 2017 at Khalifa bin Salman Port in Al Hid, Bahrain. The ship's prefix changed from USNS to USS due to the law of armed conflict, which mandates that ships in active combat operations must be designated as USS to reflect their combat-ready status. The hull classification also changed from TSB-3 to ESB-3 to indicate it will be manned by U.S. Navy sailors rather than civilian mariners. USS Lewis B. Puller is the lead ship in the U.S. Navy's ESB vessel class, consisting of 5 other vessels: USS Herschel Woody Williams, USS Miguel Keith, USS John L. Canley, USS Robert E. Semanek, and USS Hector A. Caffarata Jr. The Canley was last out of the first 3 ships to deploy in February 2024, while the last 2 vessels on the list are still under construction. The USS Lewis B. Puller is unique in every sense of the word, with its distinctive flat-bottomed hull and expansive flight deck, which resemble a floating parking lot. The ESB like the Puller can be built for about $650 million, making it a revolutionary concept for providing continuity to various operations. China is terrified of the USS Lewis B. Puller due to its massive flight deck, which is approximately the size of a football field, making it the 3rd largest in the U.S. Navy inventory. The USS Lewis B. Puller is a massive, spacious, and powerful military vessel that has been involved in numerous operations around the Arabian Sea since its commissioning in August 2017. The ship's deck spans over 3 football fields and is large enough to land transport aircraft such as the MV-22 Osprey and CH-53 Super Stallion. This enhances the ship's operational flexibility and capability in supporting various missions. The ship also facilitates the launch, operation, and recovery of various unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, such as the Boeing In Situ Scan Eagle Surveillance and Reconnaissance Aerial Vehicle and the Aerosonde UAS drone with multi-mission capability. The ship boasts impressive command and control capabilities, with over 2 megawatts of surplus energy, up to 40 desks, and plenty of space for information fusion. It can serve as a hub for coordinating complex operations and integrating real-time data from multiple sources. Additionally, the ship has the necessary capabilities to keep massive amounts of data private, which is essential for maintaining operational security and ensuring that sensitive information remains secure from potential adversaries. The ship also offers advanced aviation facilities, including a hangar that provides ample space for storing and maintaining aircraft. The hangar's design supports a variety of aviation assets, ensuring they are kept in optimal condition and ready for rapid deployment. The ship can support up to 298 mission-related personnel, including special operations teams. A typical ESB crew consists of 44 military sealift command personnel and 101 military support staff, leaving plenty of space for specialized roles and operational needs. The ship's crew operates on a rotational model, with the blue and gold crew alternating on and off the hull every 5 months. This allows the ship to always stay deployed and operate in hazardous areas for longer periods. Supplies can be stored both above and under the deck, with the former allowing mission-related equipment to be stored on deck and the latter referring to approximately 82,000 square feet of mission deck space below. The ship's maximum speed is 15 knots, and its operational range is 9,500 nautical miles. Fully loaded, it displaces approximately 90,000 long tons, providing substantial mass and stability needed for sustained operations in diverse maritime environments. The ship can even be armed, thanks to 12 stations reserved for mounting 0.50 caliber machine guns. In 2022, the first notable operational deployment of the USS Lewis B. Puller took place when the crew interdicted and boarded a stateless fishing trawler in the Gulf of Oman, seizing 7,000 proximity fuses for rockets, over 4,600 pounds of propellants for launching rocket-propelled grenades, and ammunition rounds, including over 1 million AK-47 rounds. The 50 tons of weapons and ammunition were reportedly being smuggled to the Houthis in Yemen by Iran, but the latter was eventually used as military aid for Ukraine after the seizure. Once the Houthis started attacking commercial shipping vessels in the Red Sea in November 2023, the ship was deployed to the Arabian Sea to help support maritime operations in the region. The USS Lewis B. Puller, a versatile logistical powerhouse, has been designed to meet the threats in the Pacific Ocean head-on. As of September 2024, it is still located in the Persian Gulf, waiting for its next assignment. In the context of standing up to China, the Puller could help the US best this rival in the Indo-Pacific. The ship was designed with the logistics of a conflict in the Pacific Ocean in mind, allowing the Navy and Marine Corps team to meet the threats in the region head-on. The Puller can be outfitted with support facilities for a range of operations, including special forces missions, counter-piracy operations, maritime security operations, mine clearance, humanitarian aid and disaster relief missions. Its modular command and control capabilities make it a valuable asset for maintaining situational awareness and relaying information. In the context of a conflict with China, virtually all military assets, intelligence, and complex operations across the Indo-Pacific could be successfully coordinated in real time from this vessel alone. USS Lewis B. Puller could also be used for medevac and reinforcement, making it an essential platform for sustaining operations and ensuring rapid response capabilities. Due to the tyranny of distance, one role in particular would be a game-changer in a conflict between the US and China, the Puller's role as a logistical node. According to some estimates, ESBs like the Puller have the capacity to store over 11 million gallons of cargo, which can either be distributed to troops ashore or used to refuel various sea-based platforms at sea. The vast cargo space would allow this ship to transport essential resources to US troops in the Indo-Pacific, preventing China from ever cutting off their supply lines. The best part is that these supplies wouldn't just be stored on the Puller but could also be directly transported to ground troops with one of the many helicopters the Puller can accommodate. This is undoubtedly groundbreaking, as the Pacific Ocean is too vast and contains insufficient US-held land infrastructure for any other form of logistics to be as effective or resilient.